foreign chapters in Nigeria, South Africa, the Bahamas. So this is an entity with a strong tradition. And that tradition is, and this is what you'll be working on, self-determination. How do you determine your academic self-determination, your academic destiny, and your professional destiny? At this point in time, these discussions are going to have to be ongoing because we're late in the semester. The first priority is to get through this first semester and be strong. And so we're going to have a review session, November the 6th,
Yes,
12 to 1. Professor Trucios Hayes and I will get a professor perspective, and Kalicia Henson, a great student of ours, law review member and all of that, and now an attorney at Stites, Pastor Bar and all of that. So she's where you are moving towards. So we're going to do that, and that'll be important. But BOSS is really concerned about self-determination, study and struggle, professionalism, and community engagement. And so we're trying to promote the needs of students who have traditionally been isolated. So one of the things that we're trying to do, and it can't just fall on first years, it has to fall on everyone to be part of a community. And that doesn't mean you like everything in the community or dislike it, but it's just like a family. You stay in it and resolve issues and move forward. So if you don't like something, that doesn't mean, well, I'm not dealing with that, they're doing this and that. You have to do some self-reflection. And that is one of the hallmarks of being a truly competent and professional person. So we really want you to be academically successful. We want you to form a community, and from that community, that's where the goals and incentives will come from. So another important thing about BOSS is this is your first professional organization. And you would be surprised, people are looking at you at all levels. Your professors are looking at you, people outside in the legal community are looking at you. And this is the first part of your professional ethos, how you will be perceived as a professional. I can tell you from being here for years, you can tell how people are going to be as students, how they will be as professionals. And sometimes in the Courier Journal, when you see something bad, you're not surprised, and you don't want to be in that situation. So this is your first professional organization, and it's important for you to chart your own course. Reputation matters, and particularly this institutional reputation, what BOSSA is, really determines how successful we're going to be. And then finally, how to work and collaborate with others. So how do you have this discussion? Let me leave you with a couple of thoughts. As I said before, one of the most important professional characteristics that you can have as a fully competent and analytically adept lawyer is self-reflection. And that means when you're studying for these exams and everything, that's part of it, but lawyers critically assess problems and try to resolve them and make adjustments. So when you have this discussion about where the organization should be, it's important that you not place blame or air personal grievances, but coalesce around a common vision for BOSSA so that the organization can be healthy, active, viable, and relevant in the law school community and overall. So some ground rules when you're discussing. Mutual respect. Everyone is equal. You want to be here for BOSSA, and it's good that you're here. And I think as BOSSA starts functioning, more and more people will come. But you can't make people come. They have to want to come to it. So discuss and critique ideas. No personal attacks. No shade. No put downs. Candor is really difficult, but certainly necessary. And BOSSA cannot, nor should it, solve all of the law schools or the world's problems. Realistic expectations, noting the limitations of a student organization, but fully embracing the possibilities that you have in front of you. Understand that there are different viewpoints and work through them to arrive at a common ground, and ask questions to expand your knowledge. This should be a safe space where you express yourself. Let people speak, no one talks over others, and no one dominates the discussion. And also really reflect on the role of the executive board and the chair. The chair, like the dean is here, we call it the first among equals. I mean, the dean isn't our boss, the chair isn't your boss, but he is the spokesperson, or she is the spokesperson of this organization. And in order for that person to be successful, the membership has to collaborate, communicate, and make sure that everyone is on the same page. And that doesn't mean directive, that means a collaborative back and forth, and then understanding the common goals and moving forward. So the executive committee and the membership has to discuss and how to succeed successfully moving forward. So there's areas to discuss that you are going to discuss, but one major area is communication. How do we discuss things? What is our mode of communication? And how do we express things to each other? Another is participation of membership. Another is engagement and buy-in, and how do we do that? And then instrumentally, and it's too late to do this now, but we should be doing this as we move into the next semester. Everyone should have a copy of the bylaws and understand how this organization works. Everyone should be financially up to date if you can be, and you really should understand the organization. And so if you understand the nuts and bolts, then that will bring you together and be more cohesive. These meetings are necessary because it is three-dimensional. I think oftentimes we get into virtual conversations, and those conversations are flat. They can't provide nuance. You don't understand if someone's mad or irritated. And these exchanges forces you to have a little courage in expressing yourself. I think people are a lot more stronger on email than in person. And when you're faced with a person, you tone down the tone, or at least will think about it more thoughtfully and critically. So this isn't, I'm not playing principle or anything. You're grown people. So I'm just saying this is the context in which this organization can be successful. And so all of you have to do that, not only first years, but second and third years as well. And we want the leadership to be continuous and strong. So help the leader helps you. We develop new leaders, and we keep moving on. We should never be in a situation where, we're in flux and we don't know our direction. And as we get stronger on the law school campus, we can expand and make inroads. Regionally, there's no reason we should not be dealing with UK's boss or Northern Kentucky. Getting involved in the national chapters as well, because that's where policy is made. And we really should have a voice, because this is the Brandeis School of Law. And we can define what that public interest legacy is. So I just encourage you. I know that there's been some frustrating things this year, and that's why I'm speaking generally. I hear things and talk to people, and I don't take sides. I'm very neutral. But I am biased when it comes to Boston. I want Boston to be a fully functioning, viable organization. This organization really has to have a voice. It's not just SGA or other groups. You collaborate with those groups, but there's no reason why if we have a political ideology, we're not pushing back. There's a vacuum in the marketplace of ideas now, and I think it's out of balance, and Boston can play a role in that. Whatever, my politics or whatever, but you have to be out there expressing yourself. It should not be one-sided. And you know what organization I'm talking about, so I'm not pointing at that organization, but there is no reason whatsoever other organizations should not be actively involved in that dialogue. And it is very important, particularly in these times, however you want to interpret them. And so that's all I have to say, but I'll be around, and so I expect you to take up this challenge. We're going to study first, get you through those exams, make some strong grades, because that's what you're worried about. I can tell how you're looking at me. It's like, damn, will he shut up? I need to get to my, yeah. So, and so also too, just because we're professors, how do I put this? We go through the same thing, the things that you have to do politically, the tone that you have to have, how you react to certain people that you're not going to go to lunch with, but you have to work with. And so that's what you're learning here now, because it's going to be even, I don't want to say worse, but even more intense when you get into the work world. You just can't tell your supervisor like that, because that's who you're dealing with. And then that is how you are framed, and you want to be framed in the best possible way, a fully engaged professional. One thing that they'll look at wherever you are, corporate, public interest, they will look at the quality of your work. That is your calling card. So that's why in legal writing, we're going over this, doing this. When you turn in something with your name on it, it should be pristine. And then once you do that, your reputation resonates. You get better job assignments. You move up the chain. So I want to. You'll see. You'll be so overwhelmed with work because everybody will want to work. Well, can you do this? Can you? And that's a good sign. You'll be overwhelmed, but then you know that whatever organization you're in has faith in you. And so that's what we're trying to get you to. You're all going to get through this. Everybody goes through it. It's been a long time for me, but every time exam time comes around, I can feel it. The building has changed, and people's faces look different because they're thinking about them exam. But you would not be here unless you can do it. You would not have gotten into this law school. We don't bring people in who can't do the job and pass the bar and do well. So, and you see everybody who comes through here. Kalicia's a fine example. And the upperclassmen that you have here are fine examples. And so have faith in that and have faith in yourself. This is where you sort of doubt yourself, but you've been achieving all the time, and you'll continue to do so. I'm going to shut up now, and I'll be around, and y'all keep pushing. All right?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so, I mean, he pretty much said everything. Yeah, y'all should come get some food, or whatever. All right. And if anybody wants seconds, thirds, whatever, we got a lot of donuts. But yeah, I mean, so if y'all want to talk about anything he said, say something. It's really just, go ahead, say something. If y'all want to,
what did he say?
if y'all want to talk about anything he said or address it, you want anything?
I gotta work on my memo.
Oh.
I already did that.
You can eat. You
I
can
ate
eat.
Jimmy John's.
Oh, okay.
So thank you.
I'm sorry, man. I really got pizza.
I have wisdom teeth coming out. If
What?
you can eat a donut,
Yes, you can always
With
eat
sauce?
donuts.
It's on
I'm
both
just teasing. I
oh,
don't
they're
know.
coming out.
Oh, yeah, that sucks.
I don't want the pretzel stuff. Do you think I can
Yes.
eat a donut?
So,
I'm not
Kyle covered the history,
Yeah.
the
So,
importance, we talked about more meetings and dues. So the only thing on the list
no.
left is voicing concerns.
Yeah, so anyone, I mean,
And like you said, speak candidly.
yeah. Seriously. Say anything, for real. I got
I'm concerned that
There we
the
go.
reels are falling off.
Huh? Oh, I agree.
Yeah, look.
I agree. I agree.
I wasn't like that when we were 1Ls and 2Ls, so I don't know what's happening.
And so how do y'all think we can fix it, or what?
I mean, everybody's busy, but
Yeah.
And I don't, this is my personal opinion, I don't think it's the busy thing.
That's
I think
keeping
there's
people.
some interpersonal issues
Yeah.
going on between certain people, certain 3Ls, and they don't want to put their differences aside just to come together in a group. And so instead of having to be around each other, they'd rather just not come to the meeting. I know, well, for Donovan, he's just spacey, so that's whatever. But I think for the rest of the 3Ls, I think a lot of issues going on within certain groups, so they just don't want to come. So,
And how? So what? There's 6 of them. So we got a third of them here. There's not that many too, right?
Yeah,
Which is
31.
tough. Of the
Yeah.
3Ls represented right here,
yeah.
right?
Well, and I don't
so
know.
it's only 6, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So but we're missing 4, and we got to get more, right?
Yeah, so I don't know how to address that issue
Yeah.
with them, but it makes us look like,
Unorganized.
it makes the 3Ls
it makes us look
bad.
like we don't care, and we do, because
Yeah.
this isn't how it was our 1L and 2L year. Like the 3Ls and 2Ls, they always came. But
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, but we're adults, so I don't know how to.
And
Yeah, like he said, like Mike Powell said, we can't force anyone to show up.
I
which is
agree.
fair, but
But maybe say like if you wanna be taken off this email thread. I don't know, like, how do you nicely say if you're not like interested in Balsa, let me know.
Or how do we get them back interested? Almost, cause
Yeah.
even with the 2 L's, I mean, you see a
But
lot
even like
aren't
on
here.
that email thread, there's people that I've never seen at a Balsa meeting.
Yeah, and I only did that because when
So
I
I
was
was just
first.
wondering like who's interested in.
Yeah.
Maybe you should send an email to everyone on the list and say, please reply to this
Individual?
email if you're interested in
Okay.
receiving
I'll-
further emails.
I will send it, and I will send like a red receipt, so like when you open the email,
Oh,
it
that's
has to
good.
send a
Yeah.
red
That's
receipt
really
to
And
me.
so that way you know.
Should we
if-
do it in November or should we wait till January?
I'm about to do it now.
Okay.
I can do it today.
Okay.
Yeah, I really just know who's interested and then move forward. I don't think we
Yeah.
can wait like, yeah.
And I would like to get the 1L's opinion. I feel like
Yeah.
I know a good deal of you, you know, not everyone like personally, but I really enjoyed like, I guess for lack of a better word, like venting to like the upperclassmen and
Yeah.
asking questions and like trying to get a feel for everything. And like I am more than willing to
Yeah,
do
they
like
always
be
will.
that person, and I'm sure Emily would be too. But it's like there's 6 of us.
Exactly.
And like I only have the perspective of like who has taught me, and I think everybody else
We
besides
have
the
most
2
of
of
the
us.
same
But,
teachers.
yeah, you and I have the same professor. We're in the same
But
section.
most everyone else was in
The other section. And so and they're not around ever, and so it's like
So it's
I
like
can only
have
help so much.
Marcus
Exactly.
and outlines and stuff, but like, shit, if we don't have Marcus, that doesn't help.
Exactly. But with the 3 and 2 L's, we should be able to cover
I
every
forgot the other
teacher.
2 L's were not
But, like-
in, but still.
2 L's.
Exactly. That's what I'm
That's-
saying. And now Leanna is really active. I think in Nora Cares.
And
Elizabeth
it has
can
an
come.
emergency.
Yeah. Yeah. So with them and McKellar Cares, we don't have that many, right? So that's 3. We only got 5.
Like you all
Melody.
represent the bulk.
That's what I'm
of-
saying, like, the
Yeah.
Wells are so strong that, like,
Exactly.
it looks really bad to look like, oh, there's 2 3Ls at every meeting.
Yeah.
I guess they don't give a shit. And it's like, there's 15 1Ls and Balsa could be really successful, but,
Yeah.
I
Oh.
mean, they're busier than, I understand, like, there's a different definition of busy.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I'm taking 18 hours. Like, everyone's busy.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's 1 hour.
You're right. So that's why maybe we can do more meetings, and not saying everybody comes to each meeting, but people who weren't able to make the Thursday,
Yeah,
maybe they
there's
can
always-
make Wednesday,
It doesn't work, yeah.
and then we could talk. Because that was one suggestion that we had to fix. I think it's important because just understanding, okay, the problems that these 3Ls had, right, and communicating that so we can be more effective in battling that in
Remember, like,
the
even
school.
like, it was, even
I'm
like,
sorry.
everything is stressful. Like, when they started talking about summer jobs, and I was like, shit, I'm not doing on-campus interviews, I'm not gonna get a job, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And the 3, like, Brianna was like, no, you can literally get a job in March. And so I just calmed down. Like, just everything they used to help us with.
It's the same Bethany and all of them helped me.
I think commitment is definitely mostly important as far as, you know, just having a baseline of those who are and those who want to, mainly because those who are might just be here, those who want to are here.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important to get that consensus about those who are technically, despite might not be able to be here, have some investment, like do the dues and actually in the email stating that they want to be here. But even still, they can't be here, or unfortunately might not want to be here because of opposing individuals. There should be some type of database information of how helpful they can be, and that's not the pure being in Boston, but how helpful they can be with certain students,
Yeah.
certain professors, certain disciplines in the law field that they're in or they have experience in, certain companies. So there was like a document that would say like, hey, I've done this, reach me at this information so that.
Yeah, almost like a director.
Yeah,
We can do that.
Yeah,
It's
something like
Almost like
not,
a director.
everybody could like add their name, like the 3Ls or 2Ls could like add what they would be.
That would be good. All right, let me
So
see.
I talked to you, you mentioned like your father is in Charlotte, you know some attorneys in Charlotte, so
Yeah.
that's
That's a good
leverage
idea.
for me, but at the same time, if I didn't talk to you, and not that you weren't here,
Right.
but you were
You
here.
just wouldn't know that.
But if, say, I'm not gonna speak to anybody specifically, I don't know, but someone who's here who has like a wraparound knowledge about exactly what I wanna do, at least enough knowledge that can give me a direction, I I don't know who they are or where they are.
Yeah.
I can access, even if I email them, I don't know if they won't even talk to me.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Is there a way that we can present it for people who may not be coming, like, to where this would benefit them in some way? I don't know, like, make it a benefit. I think if people think
Upper
that,
content?
yeah, if people think it benefits, then they might.
Well, I think as far as 3Ls, I don't know if we would get any direct benefit,
Yeah, it's hard.
especially because like
You done it.
we've already done it, and so I think we should be able to pay it forward to them.
Exactly, it's
Mhm.
hard for me to know how much someone has helped you, and then to just like walk out. I'm not saying everyone does that, some people might be working or something, but it's hard, like when we've been helped so much and then to not help other people,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
just,
Right.
And I feel
I
like
don't know how to make someone wanna do
I
that.
feel like every person wants that at some point.
Yeah. Well, I will speak for myself and say that I would do it,
I'll do it.
and I'm sure John will do it.
Yeah.
John is just,
Yeah, he does.
he's just a ghost.
Yeah, who's Don?
The tallest guy in the
individual
school.
in this.
Do we have a list? I
You
feel
can't
like
miss
this would
them.
also be helpful on the Google Doc. Do we have a list of like alumni of color that are
I can check with
working?
OPD. I can add alumni of color up there just from
Just like their
the
email,
list that I
like,
know.
or where they work. If
I
someone
got
wants to
you.
reach out.
I mean, I can reach out to Samantha and Brandon, and I know Calicia will do it, and
Like
Anisha.
Demetrius Holloway, he's always trying to do
Man,
somebody
he's
job.
the man. Yeah, he's the man.
He's like, you trying to work?
Yeah, and there's people always looking for volunteers. There's people who are clerks or they need clerks. So all right, I'll throw all that on the Google Doc.
Where's he works? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he works with Calicia.
It's like 16.
yeah, he's literally worked there since he was 6.
Yes, sir. And then we got you.
Sure. I don't mean to be callous towards any specific person, especially 3Ls, but the whole, one of the base points of BALSA is to have inclusion and opportunity for those who are misrepresented or
Yeah.
underappreciated, black, white, or indifferent. So, respecting 3Ls' interests and, where they have their appetite is and going into careers, they don't want to be helpful. That's kind of the downside of, no longer being a part of BALSA, because, we're here to help each other.
Yeah, that's.
So they don't want to participate. I mean, I'm sorry, get kicked out. It's kind of like, so why are you part of this? What do you
Yeah.
plan to benefit if you don't plan to benefit morally by helping others out?
Yeah, I agree.
So
It's
what do
like, why
we
do you want
do?
to remain on this email list if you have?
100%.
I'm
Yeah.
not.
What do we do with absentee type members? And there's a lot of people that I knew they never came to meetings that are on the email list, but when I didn't put them on, then I was getting from my current e-board, why don't you have this person? Why don't you have? I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna send it to everybody. Like, if you paid,
Well, I mean, you're the president. Like, just make a judgment call based on like
yeah,
who you should reach out to. Like,
yeah,
I
because there's
mean-
people who don't like
You can
who are
even
on
just
there.
say,
and
we're
don't get
creating a new
email.
group email.
Yeah.
Please reply by this if you are still interested in BALSA,
Okay.
as we are trying to, yeah.
Yeah.
Cause it's like, if they haven't been, some people are my
Ever.
age, and I've never seen them at a meeting in 3 years.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and they don't,
Right.
no one's all going on with BALSA if they don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
To me,
That's how
like,
I
that would be
felt.
annoying. I would just be like, can't take me off. That's what I don't understand. It's like, why you want to keep getting the email?
All right,
Lonnie?
you had your thing.
Oh, mine was kind of, Will summed it up. I'm sorry. He basically got out what I was gonna say. so
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the importance right now of BOLSA, with that, with helping, like strengthening the individual inside of BOLSA, you want the individual to strengthen the group, and then in that we can help the school, because there's a big gap in the school with minorities. You see that in presence and awareness of basically just minorities and that we exist. I think some people wouldn't care if there were any black, brown people at this school at all. So. But that's really what we want to do, and I'm going to faculty meetings. They're trying to do cultural competence, so
You're
things.
doing good, Demetri. I'm serious.
Thanks,
I
thanks,
can tell you trying.
thanks. I'm trying, but I think I just want to maybe set it up so it's better for whoever's coming. And then something happened in Lonnie's class. A kid said something.
Oh,
What happened? Tell me what happened.
What happened?
Will's the only one in.
Who's
So
the
y'all
class?
need to document this. Document this because we're gonna get a dean of diversity in here probably next semester. And
Well, wait, what
Ross.
No, yeah, it's for Ross, but that was my follow-up question.
Let us hear it.
how
Yeah.
you doing?
Will, you want to summarize
I
it?
didn't
I mean, I
get
can
to-
summarize it because I listened to this conversation yesterday.
Yeah, wow. We're talking about voices and words. We're doing all right. We got some good.
Will, I want to know.
Oh,
I got fruits
we
left.
were talking about, y'all know probably in Washington's class, we have the day where you go for discrimination.
We didn't have Russell.
You remember, Michaela? So remember when we were talking about discrimination in that one case with the black lawyer woman who was at an apartment and she got discriminated against?
Oh, yeah.
And then we talked about West Louisville. We talked about discrimination all over. So they had the same day, same class. Then there was an event where students said something about, people shouldn't integrate too fast. Like, man, it's 60 years after civil rights. Yeah, go ahead.
He
Say.
definitely said.
And it would implode the economy.
Yeah, because we were talking about a case where the apartment building had a quota where they had like 10 black people could live in the building at a time. When somebody black moved out, somebody black moved in, And like the court obviously said like that doesn't make sense, like that's unconstitutional, whatever. And he was like, well, I feel like it makes sense because if you integrate too quickly, white people become uncomfortable and then they move out. And I was like, I looked at Will, I was like, what? And then he said economically it makes sense to not integrate too fast because white people will be uncomfortable and then they will leave. And then he said something else. Oh, he said you see that in cities like Memphis, which used to be like a nice city and now it's not. And I was just like,
Did anyone say anything?
Will did.
I was about to say, we had some people in our class, Lauren,
Yeah,
Lauren
Will
shut you
had
down.
Yeah.
This was Rusty's class?
This was Roslyn's class.
What did she say?
No, she let it go. She let the conversation kind of
Professors
flow. Because she wanted
professors
people
let
to
it
talk.
go because they don't want to like seem like they're like on one side or the other. They just like let us have our own like,
She
discourse.
would, yeah.
generate conversation. She
Yeah.
really
And Will
wanted-
was quick on it too.
Professors will do that.
But it's like,
Just Haynes.
oh yeah, she would correct
She would
you.
do that.
fucking with that.
Yeah, she did almost a whole course on undocumented, just the
Yeah, she
word.
was
I was
like,
like,
if you say alien in this
Oh,
class,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah. I was like,
she wasn't with it, yeah. But it's educational and it's things that we need to know as people. I mean,
I'm
But I
sorry
appreciate you
that.
asking about that.
I'm also sorry that happened.
well, I think this is one of the things that kind of Bolsa is pushing forward. We're asking for cultural competency because a lot of people have been in one area and haven't really branched out and kind of in a bubble, and maybe they'll say things or think things that may be offensive to other people. So, something like saying Haiti's a shit country, or I don't even curse, but that's a quote, but something like that, it is offensive. And
It's
so you
just
can't
hard
say
to
it.
like change the whole culture of the law school
Yeah.
because I remember Professor Powley said Dean Crawford was like, we're gonna have mandatory cultural competency training at the faculty meeting, and some of the faculty was like, I'll get up and walk out. This is
Yeah.
wasting my time.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea though, like, if you go to, like, for example, I worked at Frost, and it's mandatory for you to go to diversity training, and it really is like a good training, and I feel like if all students had that, they would kind of understand the other side, and then they would too, get to know other people that they wouldn't necessarily talk to. Or get to know that, like, I connect with you because this happened to you in your life, and it just kind of takes down that racial barrier that you first see.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Crawford would be down for something like that, but I do think that is important, that everybody, even us as, minorities, kind of understand them and they understand us, so it's kind of like breaking down that wall.
We got a mountain next, yeah.
So, when things like that happen in your class, like 1Ls and 2Ls, especially y'all next semester when you take Common Law 2, because
Yeah.
people say things way out of left field, so just
Yeah,
watch out for that.
Commonwealth
Common Law 2
students.
people say some stupid shit. But when things like that happen, let us know, because last year we had a meeting with the dean, keeping him, up to date on all the various racial issues that happen in our classes, things that go,
Reported, almost unreported,
unreported,
undocumented.
or like they are reported and professors
Unaddressed.
don't do anything about it. And so maybe next semester we can have another meeting like that towards
Yeah.
the end, just to like keep it in the front of his mind that these things are like
A follow-up
still
meeting.
happening,
Yeah, and
despite all the efforts he says he is making.
yeah, so
I think he gets a lot of pushback. I'm not saying
Oh,
he does everything
100%.
right. He does not.
yeah,
But I think he gets a lot of pushback. Like people like faculty like say they're gonna leave and shit.
they come at
Well, he
him.
has to balance. He has to balance.
Yeah,
I just
Because
don't
he's the
understand
dean,
why
but-
I don't know.
I know, I'm like,
coming
just
from-
let them leave.
Yeah, coming
Yeah.
from like my school, like
There's
we
other
had, they got
factors.
rid of him, but we had a president where he was all about the students. So if you weren't down with it, he's like, you're out of here.
I wish
Cause
that's
it's about us, like it's
Yeah.
our money that we're paying for this institution. I don't give a
I wish that's
flying
how it
fuck
was.
about what a
I know.
professor thinks, and
What
I
we've
just don't
been
understand why that's an
48
excuse
years.
sometimes, but it
100%.
irritates me.
Well, so that's just my idea of maybe
That's a good idea.
someone else could email the dean because
Well,
I'm not the dean's favorite
I
individual
talked-
these
Oh, he
days.
loves-
He
Yeah,
likes me
he
too.
loves me, Kevin. I talked to him a lot. We had a small meeting this
Yeah, he
month.
likes you, Demetri.
Yeah, I'm trying to meet with them each month just to talk about little stuff, but
Okay.
they're short meetings, and then we go to the faculty meeting, right?
I gotta go work the table for jail.
Alright,
That's where
Sorry.
so Justin, we're just filling you in, we're voicing concerns about moving forward, things that you want, maybe need, or we're creating ideas,
Seriously,
How
if
to
anyone
connect
wants
people.
help on your memo, you can just email me.
appreciate it. Don't email me. No,
Uh,
I'm just teasing. You
oh.
can at your own risk.
Don't email.
Before I forget, I need to say this.
I'm just teasing. I got an
So earlier this semester, I was supposed to create this outline bank. Long story short, has not happened yet. However, when I leave this meeting, I'm going to the library to print off every single outline that I have. Kaylee Raymer gave me hers, and I'm going to put them in the boss office. You can take them as long as you bring them back. I will put property of Imani Sola on them so that if I see them anywhere that's not y'all, I'll just snatch it.
And let me know.
So-
We'll check him out. I'll put your name or write it
Yeah.
down. He'll be official. Did you
Yeah.
come in there and vacuum?
I didn't. Okay, no, I did not.
Somebody vacuumed and I was like, that's a blessing. But we
Yeah,
didn't
no,
check.
I vacuumed.
Oh, I was like,
Where is the office and like,
It's-
are we allowed to just like hang out in there?
so we gotta do an official thing because that became a problem in recent years with people hanging out in there. So if we do it, we gotta set up rules and it's gotta be kind of official. And so that's why.
Isn't there only one key anyway?
Yeah, that's why I've been hesitant to open that up to folks. It's really, and plus I gotta get a lot of crap out of there because it's like a storage room right now, basically. But somebody did vacuum, so that was me.
Are you all in the same section?
It's me
Are
and
in
the
the
only
booth.
ones not in.
Two are, they're next door.
Oh, and Justin's in my section. So y'all have Marcusson,
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, so
and y'all have Milligan.
Yes.
I'm just gonna give y'all that Marcusson outline that we have, and y'all just use it how you want. We'll bring it back at the end
And
next
then I have a
semester.
binder floating around, Gabby has it, so feel free to ask her too if she wants to share that with you guys. But
Yeah.
Did Marcus in the book? If you set your notes
Oh,
up correctly.
set it up right, yeah.
Oh, thank you for saying that. So last year I was an SSG leader,
Should I
and
do pizza?
during like one of our last meetings before finals, I got them all binders and like tabs and stuff for Markson's final. Nobody else did that, so if y'all's SSG leader doesn't do that, let me know and I will do that for you. So it'll be fun.
We can have a binder party.
That's what I did. I had a binder party. I got Krispy Kreme donuts.
I'm not
It was
That would be
fun.
awesome, like help us like set up our binder for criminal.
Yes,
That would be
yeah.
awesome.
I will
That is
volunteer my
awesome.
time.
And write stuff in there how you would write on the test, so you don't have to. You just got it already. How you would write the rule on
Okay.
the test.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I will volunteer my time and efforts and money for that.
Yeah,
So
that's amazing. Okay, both of them pay some money.
you know I don't care. I just don't. It's just easier if I
Alright,
just do it.
Angel.
Aren't I?
Yeah. Okay. So did you have anything you want to say? You want to conclude? Yes. We got a lot, please.
Any other concerns generally? Like I said, be candid.
No. And that's what we're gonna do, and that's what the more meetings are for, and I think we accomplished stuff. And that, I mean, I've worked with McKellen, our e-board, and they really came up with the idea, Professor Powell, so, you know, now, how, the setup, I mean, we'll see how we can make it work, but I think
I
we get a
think
lot.
like 1 or 2 a month is cool.
Yeah, I think that's, so,
One
Like every
general
other week?
meeting and
And
then
then-
like one meeting if there's anything new or
Yeah.
if there's any concern.
see, what my concern is too is the people who can make the big meeting, I wanted to put the other meeting on a different day for the people who
Not
can't.
Thursday.
Yeah, who can't make that big meeting. So depending on schedule.
So maybe, we could create a poll to see what times and what days work.
Well, let's do it after people sign up and after finals. So maybe
Yeah.
over break,
Yeah,
I'll create a poll
yeah,
and email everybody. So
that,
we can
that's a good idea.
But I know you guys got to get to your memos. I think we got a lot accomplished. I'll email meeting minutes, addressing what Professor Powell said. Yeah, probably by Friday. I hope y'all have a great weekend. Be safe. I know a lot of people are going to see this.
No, wait, sorry, I know I'm like dominating this. Who in here is going to the students?
I think all of them are going. I think all of them went out.
Heck yeah!
You're going to the students?
I have to set up.
You're not going.
Get the address.
Oh, I might go to that. Yeah, I might go to that.
I
Where do you
will,
live?
Dawes Avenue.
He might.
It's literally.
That's like a strong mic. That's a strong mic.
It means no.
nah, don't blame me.
It's like a over 50%.
Maybe he's not going.
That's not